the Open Home Foundation dropped something called a device database. So it's essentially an opt-in model where folks can share their device information. Now it is anonymized, so they don't. It's not like, hey, this is Phil's water leak sensor in Home Assistant or something like that. But essentially, it's a roundup of all your entities in Home Assistant, and it delivers that up to the Open Home Foundation. Now, why do this, right? And it's really around supportability. It's really around like, hey, people have these kind of devices in Home Assistant. So you can go in, you can go look at what they've got, and you can see that. Right now, I don't know if it's public or not, but essentially what it is it's a Grafana dashboard. But eventually it's going to be its own like website kind of thing. And but yeah, so the idea again is they are privacy focused. They don't want your personal information. What they want to see is okay, there's all these different types of devices. Who do they support? Who do they reach out to? It gives them a lot of information too, right? When they say, okay, like I've got, again, for example, I've got a lot of Shelly devices that Home Assistant users run. Okay, well, maybe Shelly is someone to partner with. Obviously, that's a bad example because they already do partner with Shelly, but that's kind of the idea there, right? And to say, okay, how can we actually take this and get information so that one, you can make a better decision when you go to buy a device, and they can look at like, is this cloud, is it Zigbee, is it Z-Wave, is it, and it starts to help prioritize some of those efforts there too, I think. But there's the other side of this, which is like sometimes people get like pre-release devices, right? So how do you keep your like NDAs active, right? So obviously, if it's a pre-release device, if I have this new thing, I can't talk about it until a certain date. It's under embargo. More of a problem for creators, but a lot of times people sign up for beta devices, and you go, hey, this actually works in Home Assistant, great, right? So to prevent that, there's got to be about I think minimum of 50 instances to report to device. Now, I did look in the Grafana piece, so that's not there yet. So they will collect that information, and the idea is to only show it once it hits about 50 devices for that specific model or what have you. MQTT devices, ESP home devices, and any custom integrations for now are ignored, right? So that means, if I have like a custom like ESP32 based thing that I built, realistically it'll be like 1 of 1 or like, I don't know, 10 of 10 or what have you. So probably wouldn't show up anyways, but any ESP home type devices in there for now will be excluded. So keep that in mind there.
Yeah, I think to note, like this is, so the Open Home Foundation device database is currently still in beta. It's still being worked on. It's restricted by a labs toggle. So if you want to start sending data to the device database, you need to first enable the feature in labs from the settings menu. And there is a secondary consent toggle. So there's currently analytics that you can push up to the Open Home Foundation of how you're using Home Assistant, like how many devices you have, what your installation method is. This is also an extra consent screen that you can get behind. So you could choose to push up, rough analytics of how many integrations you've got activated, what your installation type is, and not decide to choose to send up the device data that you're running in Home Assistant.
Exactly. And keep in mind, it's brought in by the Open Home Foundation. It's an initiative by the Open Home Foundation, and it's, at least for now, it's in Home Assistant, right? But the idea is it is an independent project of Home Assistant. Just think of it similar to Music Assistant, how it's in Home Assistant, but it's not Home Assistant, right? So that's going to be the same kind of deal here too.
Yeah. It was cool to see that already, like with the data, like there are some companies that have reached out to the Open Home Foundation and been like, oh, we would like to know, what sort of products of our own are in there. I'm not going to name names of which companies that were, but yeah, it was interesting. Like, oh yeah, there's actually some use cases already coming out of this, all right?
Yeah.
And data is going to be open source, so it's not only going to be for Home Assistant, it could be for, other open source projects or companies to use, and, enhance the smart home experience.
Exactly. And I talked about it as like, here's Home Assistant, then they can drive, development or partnership efforts or stuff like that. But it's to your point, Phil, it's actually the other way as well, right? Where, I don't know, company X who builds whatever product goes in and they look and they're like, oh, there's a lot of people using my thing on Home Assistant. Maybe I should reach out, or maybe I should take on the integration and we can actually come out with an official integration, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe somebody like Chamberlain can go in and say, "Hey, there's so many people that want to integrate our product. Maybe we'll just open it up."
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's not get
that
ahead of
one
ourselves.
may not happen.